Point of view.
If you haven't heard, there is a general belief called the law of attraction. This law depicts that positivity draws positivity and negativity draws negativity. Basically, what they believe is that if you have positive thoughts, speak positively, act positively, positive things will be attracted to you. But if you think negatively, speak negatively, act negatively, negative things will be attracted to you.
The Bible speaks of the power of the tongue, with the same indication that what you speak can either create life or death. Many mental health specialists believe that positive thinking will change your mental thought patterns over time and that it will result in positive outcomes. Some scientific research have shown that there is healing power in laughter due to the endorphins releases, so if you laugh often, which indicates a sense of positivity, you will feel healthier. Even money principles are based on this notion. A positive savings balance compounds with positive interest, whilst a negative savings balance compounds with negative interest. It's a snowball effect, or a downward spiral. If you are at the top of the spiral, you are exposed to light and positivity and a feeling of happiness. Then it is easy to think, speak, and act positive. The lower down the spiral of negativity you roll, the harder it becomes. And the lower you go, the more difficult it is to get out. If you go too low, you cannot get back up, at least not by yourself. Your only choice might be to bottom out, to reach breaking point, and start a new spiral, and then fight to stay at the top. This applies to mental health, relationships, and even finances. Once you've hooked onto a certain negative thought and you don't change that way of thinking, you will spiral downwards unless someone or something changes or impacts your perception. Once your relationship has entered a winter season and you don't plant seeds that can bloom in spring, but you focus on the cold weather, you will spiral downwards unless an event or incident pushes you in the opposite direction. Once you go down a debt spiral, sometimes your only solution is sequestration or bankruptcy in the worst case scenario. So how do you stay at the top of the spiral? Thinking, speaking, and acting positively can become a good habit. But once it is a habit, it also loses meaning. It's like brushing your teeth. Sometimes you do it without even thinking, and then you wonder afterwards if you actually did brush your teeth. Due to the habit, you can easily forget to focus on specific areas of the teeth, and your brushing routine becomes less effective. It's only when you discover a gum disease or a bad tooth that you suddenly pay more attention to your dental health routine again. So making positivity a habit is a good start, but every now and then you need a wake-up call, a reminder that it must mean something. It's like saying, "Well, and yourself?" when someone asks you how you are doing. Sometimes when you say that, you should just pause for a moment and mean it. Even if it isn't really going so well, just focus on the positive things in your life. There must be something, right? And be grateful for that. Perhaps that is the trick, being grateful. If you have an attitude of gratefulness, you are forced to focus on the things that you are grateful for, and immediately you should be able to slow down that downward spiral speed and even pause in a place of happiness for a while. It's the same with money. If you don't think about what you don't have or can't get, or you are fearful of the current volatility in the markets, then you can easily speed down that negative spiral. Now I'm repeating. It's the same with money. If you don't think about what you don't have or can't get, or you are fearful of the current volatile markets, then you can easily speed down that negative spiral. However, if you think of what you have compared to the less fortunate, and what you were able to get during times that it did go well, or of the wonderful returns you got during bull cycle markets, then you should be able to slow down the downward spiral speed. I think another clue in this positivity riddle might be influence. If you are surrounded by negative people and negative news, it would be harder for you to focus on the light. However, if you are surrounded by positive people and positive news, it might just ignite a little flame in your darkness that might pull you out of the spiral. So be careful of that fake news on social platforms and watch out for, the bri-fly stalks. Before you know it, you might be dragged down a spiral that you cannot get out of. So, should we fake it? Nah, I don't think that is always the answer. And not if you don't mean it. If you're faking it in an attempt to uplift yourself, then by all means, sow those positive seeds. But if you are faking it in an attempt to fool others, but in the meantime, you're harboring negativity and speeding down that spiral, then no, please don't fake it. Find help. Talking to the right person will help, because when you open up your mind and heart, by opening your mouth, the light will come in and slowly eradicate the darkness. Eventually. We are all like trees. We are planted in different gardens, but we all need the same things. We need solid ground, water, and sunlight. So, ground yourself firmly where you are planted. Ensure you are surrounded by the right people. And turn your leaves towards the sunlight by focusing on the positive things in life.